Mm. Oh, the first sip. I love that first sip. Hey, it's Mark Shepard, and it is day 111 of my 90-day challenge to go deep, deep, deep into the cryptos, to the Bitcoin galaxy of greed and grieviness, and to see what's going on. And I had an interesting experience yesterday, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. But first, let's start some music and let's see what's going on in the cryptos. Okie dokie, we're going to look at Bitcoin and see what's going on in a minute. Yesterday it went to $8,000 again, and then it pulled back, but in what is a normal Bitcoin move, it only pulled back by a mere, I don't know, $500, $600, no big deal, right? And the thing is, where else could you make $500 almost every day, right? If you knew what you're doing. So today, we're going to talk about that a little bit, and I just want to check real quick before we look at any of the other stuff. And I literally, this is the only chart I've looked at. So I did look, I got in really late last night or really early this morning. Went down to New York City, walked around, had a great time, and had some interesting conversations with people who I didn't know about cryptocurrencies. So I'll share that with you in a second. I want to just see what's going on with, there we go. Let's see, hit refresh here, 76.98. 21 hours ago, Bitcoin just surged past 8,000. Here's what's causing the spike, as if Fortune magazine knows. Maybe they do. We'll check it out, maybe. Up and away. Bitcoin price eyes 8,000 or higher. That's one day ago. Gox ICO CEO Karpelis floats token sale to revive Bitcoin exchange. Here's the deal. No one's going back to Mt. Gox. I'm not even going to read that article. I'm sorry. Do not go back to Mt. Gox. Don't have anything to do with them. I'm sorry. You know, if you're going to do something else, do something else. But don't try to revive one of the darkest moments in Bitcoin history. So let's see what Fortune has to say, just for giggles here. See what a mainstream publication has to say about. And by the way, I saw a little headline up here about Tesla. Tesla's unfettered ambition will drain finances, analyst says. That means probably a good time to pick up some Tesla stock, okay? Just remember, when you hear negative news, change your mindset and don't believe the news. Don't believe the positive news or the negative news. Just go in and see. What the hell is that? See, this is why I don't. Oh, come on, Fortune magazine. Like, stop. How do I stop that? Stop. Oh, I'm going to have to edit that out now. Maybe I stopped it. See that? Ah. Okay, you know what? Screw it. I don't want to read your article. If you're going to play crappy music at me, I'm not going to read your article. And that actually leads me to something I want to talk about, and it's called the basic attention token. And I'm going to just pop into that right now and give you guys a link. This is a coin that I've been thinking about a lot and checking into. And the basic attention token, essentially, it's so perfect that ad played, because I didn't really want to read that article anyway. But aside from the fact that particularly mainstream like Fortune magazine or whatever, you want to always be aware of what the bias is. And my bias, to be honest with you, is I want to learn how to do this so that I can make a ton of money and take care of me, myself, my family, and have the freedom to do whatever I want to do, whenever I want to do it, wherever I want to do it, how I want to do it, when I want to do it, with whom I want to do it. That's my bias. That's what I want. The bias of most print sources of news is that they want you to read. And they want you to read so that you'll see their ads, right? And your payment is that you get some information you want, and they get you to look at their stuff and slip in the ads, right? The basic attention token is different in that you get paid, and this is very brief and you're going to have to dive into it yourself, basicattentiontoken.org. You get paid to look at ads, right? You, the receiver, get paid, right? And I like that, and I want to learn more about that. So enough about all that. Let's look at the charts because I can't stand it anymore, the curiosity. I want to see what's going on. Obviously, Bitcoin hit 8,000, and it's done. It's been at 8,000. This is now the third time it's been at 8,000. There is some significant, it's a little bit of a ceiling there. And so there was a little bit of a correction, people taking profits, but it was very manageable, very doable. And then now we're a little bit off of that, but it's also a Saturday, Sunday in some parts of the world, I guess, soon. So it may be a little bit quieter day. We'll see what happens, all right? But the thing is to remember, every time Bitcoin goes up, it comes back a little. Every time it goes up, it comes back a little. And to either be okay with these wide swings and have a long enough vision, so yeah, it just dropped $2,000. Okay, it'll be back tomorrow, or it'll be back next week, or back next month, and it just keeps going. And that's ultimately what is the most valuable thing about Bitcoin, is it just keeps shrugging off these attacks and keeps going. It still has slow transaction times. It still has high transaction fees. And if you're doing anything small, it's like, don't use it, right? And as I said yesterday, I've moved my mining payouts to come to me in Dash. Because Dash, I can then combine them, and then I could buy Bitcoin on a dip with my Dash if I want to, or I can buy anything else, right? So that's the idea. Now, let's look at Bitcoin Cash and see, look at this. We've had a significant little recovery. And it's going to test its own little high here. I'm not going to pay attention to this huge whisker up to 28 because it's probably not going to happen this weekend. But it may try to break through this $1,500 or $1,600 range. I'm encouraged by Bitcoin Cash, looking like it's got some kind of normal legs, not freakish, $2,800 legs, but legs. I want to look at the 1 hour chart, and I am thinking about getting me some Bitcoin Cash. I have not yet, but on the 1 hour chart, this is looking pretty good, people. And this was a bullish flag back here when we had that big dip. And I was like, this could be a bullish flag. It could break out of this channel here. And it did break out of the channel. And it's using that channel, the top of that channel now, as support. And so Bitcoin Cash, definitely something to watch. There may be some money to be made there if that's all you're interested in, right? Aside from all the political back and forth and, scaling and ideology and who's the good guy and who's the bad guy. Remember, you're the good guy in your world and what's right for you, right? Make decisions about what's right for you. And again, I like sideways channels, right? And so if I see a sideways channel here, I may look to get in. So that's it for Bitcoin Cash. Let's look at Dash. Speaking of Dash, and Dash, had its big boost, and then it's kind of come back a little bit and consolidated. That's on the 1 hour chart. Let's look at it on the 1 day chart. So there was another kind of a boost yesterday, and it couldn't so much sustain it, but it's hanging in, and it looks like it is really pretty steadily confirmed at this new level, which is good. I like that. And I have Dash, and I'm getting more Dash a little bit every day now, so that's cool. Let's look at EOS. EOS really moved holy crap, EOS is really looking sweet here. Let's see if I can look at it on a 1 hour chart. And this line might need to be redrawn a little bit. Or it may need to be, I'm going to get rid of the line here. Boom. Let's make this a little bit smaller. All right, let me look at this. This is the 1 hour chart. On the 1 hour chart, it looks like we have a double top here. We have higher bottoms. It might be forming another little bullish flag for another boost. Pay attention to this, people. This could be a buy signal. We have this resistance here. We have higher bottoms. And it's a good project. And let's look at where it is in trading volume over here. It's number 14 in the last 24 hours, up 3%, $1.80. You know, there's room for that. I mean, Ethereum was trading at $1.80 not too long ago, right? Litecoin was trading at $1.80 not too long ago. Do you understand? This is, I think, I'm liking EOS a lot. I think it's a really good project. I like the people on it. Dan Larimer is the guy that created Steam, and what was the other? Was it BitShares? I don't know much about his first project, but Steam is still doing pretty well. It has its critics, but the guy knows what he's doing. He's the tech guy. He has designed EOS to be able to handle millions of transactions a second from the ground up, right? And sometimes with Bitcoin, I think that what we're doing is we're taking a really, really nice car and we're attempting to turn it into an airplane. You know what I mean? It's a really good car. It's not such a good airplane. You want an airplane that's been designed from the ground up. I think, and maybe the same could be said for Ethereum. They're first to market. The technology was new and it was breakthrough, and it's now they're attempting to upgrade it. But sometimes it's easier to just start from scratch. So that's my take on EOS. And I want to go back to the 1 day. Oh, you know what? Let's do a 12-hour chart. See what that looks like. You know, so the 12-hour chart, I think it's ready to go above this spot here. And after this, I might get me a little more EOS. I do have some EOS, so I got it's not a ton, but I have more than one. Let's just say. Let's look at Ethereum on the 1 day chart. Okay, I do some stuff on the 1 hour chart on Ethereum, but Ethereum, let's get a little smaller, get a bigger perspective here. It is right up at its resistance, and that to me is good. I think we're going to have a boost in Ethereum. I'm going to watch this really closely over the next couple of days. I would be surprised if there isn't a boost in the next 2 to 3 days. Certainly in a week, but a week's a long time in crypto land. I think Ethereum is ready to go. And I think it's going for 400, and then it will pull back and consolidate above here and maybe do the same thing it's been doing, and that would be fine. I like a couple of coins that aren't quite so crazy like Bitcoin. And Ethereum could be a place to park profits. It could be a place to make profits. Long term, I think I'm not so bullish on it long term unless, you know, they really scale their stuff. But again, don't underestimate name, brand, and awareness. Ethereum is the second crypto that people learn about once they learn about Bitcoin. So I went with my girlfriend down in New York City and met up with a couple of friends of hers who were in from Colorado, in from out of town. And her friend is in public health, and her friend's husband is in telecom. And his company works with some pretty large telecoms all over Europe and the US, so that like if you are traveling into a different telecoms area, your cell phone coverage just automatically flips over and there's no problem, and everybody gets paid. And it's like, wow, it sounds like a blockchain solution is coming in your industry. And he's like, yeah, I think so. He had heard of Bitcoin. He had read a couple articles on it, but that was it. And this is a guy in a technical field, right? Okay, so just hold that. And then his wife hadn't heard of it, but they both wanted to learn about it. That was so interesting. They both wanted to learn about this. And she was like, oh, my mind's boggled. For her, I didn't talk about Ethereum. Do you know what I mean? I just said, well, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and there are a bunch of others, blah, blah, blah. And I tried to keep it really simple. But the thing is, when I came into the space back in February of 2017, I almost called it last year because it seems like a long time ago. When I came into the space, of course, I had heard about Bitcoin. All the documentaries are about Bitcoin. You don't find documentaries about Ethereum the way you do about Bitcoin. The story, the adventure, the mystery, the track record, Bitcoin is the star. Bitcoin is the Brad Pitt, and maybe Ethereum's the Angelina, right? Everybody knows the name, but Ethereum is less well known. So, but it is the number 2 cryptocurrency, and it is in people's minds. So do not count it out. Just because something isn't as good as something else doesn't seem to matter yet in the public's eye. Eventually, the public will go with what they want, like Amazon.com. There were maybe other competitors, right? There aren't anymore. Google, there were other competitors. There aren't anymore. That's something to just keep an eye out, but we, again, are early. And as I walked around New York City, there's a lot of people. There were a lot of people. And we have yet in this space to be experienced by the masses of people. So that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. It is still early, but you have to be voracious learners. You have to absolutely just see if you can absorb everything you can, because your future depends on it. And you're in early. And that's what we're doing here. This is so significant. This is a revolution. Please do not underestimate this in the process of your daily crypto stuff. And I want to encourage you to not forget what it was like when you first learned about this. I want to hold on to that beginner's mind, because that is what's going to make you wealthy, or at the very least, way better off than you were when you started, right? And you can lose your stuff here if you don't have your mind and your heart and your intelligence kind of in alignment. You could definitely repeat all the mistakes of your past here, as well as I could, right? So that's why having some experience is helpful. Okay, enough of the hypnosis of money. I just wanted to get into that a little bit, because I'm not here just to look at the charts, because plenty of other guys know a lot more about charts. But what I'm trying to do is give you the courage to keep going, even when it's not always looking good, right? And the courage and intelligence to make decisions that really support you long term. So here's what I was looking at on the 1 hours yesterday. I drew these lines because I didn't know if it was going to break to the upside or the downside. And when you see higher bottoms and lower tops, literally it could go either way. So I'm going to get rid of these lines. And it chose to come back up. It chose to come back up. And again, we now on the 1 hour chart have kind of a double top, but it really looks like it wants to go up to this 338 spot. So it will probably go there today. And then the question is, will it break out above that? If you think it's going to break out above that, you might want to ride this train. I have enough Ethereum, so this is not a buy moment for me. If it comes back down, like it did in this last little downage-ness, at this point, when it came back down to 300, I was buying. But at this point, if it comes back to 325 and holds this support in this channel here, let me just redraw what looks like the bottom or the support here. If it comes back to the support, that's a buy signal for me, because this thing is moving up and it may not for a while go back down. If it does, if you're on an exchange and you can place an order, I would put my order down here. Let's get back to the 1-day chart. I would put my order down here at this line or at the $300 range. Probably anything below 300. If it pops down there, and doesn't stay down there, good sign. I think we're going to break out with Ethereum. That looks like a little mini bullish flag. A little mini bullish flag. But again, none of this is to be construed as investment advice. This is just me looking and talking out loud and sharing really my deepest thoughts about these markets with you guys. And hopefully you like that. If you like it, please subscribe, and welcome to some of you new subscribers. And sometimes I'm really funny, sometimes I'm serious. But I really always, every day, try to give you some value at the same time that I pursue my own plan and I share with you what my plan is, so that if what I'm doing makes sense to you, you can learn from it, duplicate it, or do something different, right? You may disagree with me, and that's fine too. But I think Ethereum's about to go. And I've been saying that for a while, but that's why I love these sideways trading ranges. And, this is where it's kind of been, this channel, right? But now it's moved up another level. And if it trades in this channel for a while, that's okay too. It's going to go at some point. It has a lot of value, and it does a ton of stuff, certainly does a ton more than what Bitcoin does. But again, people want Bitcoin for a specific reason. It's going up ballistically, consistently, and their money's growing. I still think I have $500 worth of Bitcoin in my wallet, but the last time I checked, it was over $770, right? People want that. Where else can you get that? That's the real value of Bitcoin in the mind of more and more people. It's less an ideological freedom bell, right? It's more like, okay, what's in it for me? And that's the human mind, people. It's not a bad thing. It's kind of programmed in the species by nature to keep the species alive. A squirrel does not go, what can I do for my fellow squirrels today? No, the squirrel's like, okay, how can I eat? How can I stay alive, right? How can I stay alive? How can I pass my genetic code on to the next generation, right? That's what people want. And it's okay. It's not always pretty, but it's honest. Okay, so let's keep going here. Let's look at IOTA. And again, this is kind of pissing me off because I don't have any, but there's also plenty of room to grow in IOTA. It's a new project, and it's, and it came up, this came up in conversation. Someone mentioned the Internet of Things. I had never heard of the Internet of Things before I started learning about IOTA. So again, our ability to learn, and the people who are willing to learn and willing to learn and willing to learn and willing to keep learning are the people that are going to run the world in the future, or at least the ones who are going to enjoy being in the world, right? So keeping an eye on IOTA, Litecoin. Oh, thank God. I just, Litecoin had a break above its double top. And of course, it boosted and came right back to where it was, the 65. So the 65 may be the new 54. We'll see. And that's cool. Litecoin can go up steadily and slowly. It doesn't have to go to the moon. But we are up in a whole new range, and we'll see if Litecoin works its usual magic in the next channel. And you can just kind of see these different levels. You see, so it's been in this channel for a while. Over here, it was in a channel for quite a while. Those channels, for me, work really well because it gives me time to get a feel. It gives me time to get a sense. It gives me time to see that, oh, there's support. And when I see significant support week after week, day after day, I feel a little more comfortable that it's not going to drop to zero, right? And what I like about Litecoin is there's still room for it to move. People, particularly in Korea, really love it. Asian people are no dummies. They're smart people. And so Litecoin is just kind of doing what it's doing, and it's the quiet company, right? It's the quiet coin. But this is evolving for me where at the moment, if I'm going to take profits anywhere, I'm going to put it into Litecoin. And then if I see an opportunity somewhere, I'll use my Litecoin as it grows to buy more of something that has room to move. That's my strategy, and I'm sticking with it. I'm sharing it with you. Let's look at the 1 hour chart and see Litecoin on the 1 hours is doing almost exactly what it does, right? It's now in a little channel. And it's got bottoms that are supported at 64-ish. You know, just kind of like 54 was a place of support, or at least a place that it kept returning to. So that's pretty good. We'll see. Of course, the tops are a little lower. But this is a 1 hour chart, so, you know, take everything with a grain of salt. I was about to say, take everything with a grain of sand. That too, whatever. Don't believe everything. Don't believe anything. Pay attention to what really is going on, not to what you want to be going on, right? So that's where the hypnosis of money continually comes in this space, because I want Litecoin to go to 90. I have a sell stop for some of it on Bittrex, and I want to see what that's like. But I didn't want to sell until there was some significant return for me. So I just picked it. We'll see. And that's practice. And it's a new technique that I'm not really that comfortable with. And so I'm giving myself time and being patient with it. So that's Litecoin. Neo, I kind of wish I had some Neo. I so called this the other day. And again, sideways channel, multiple tops, higher bottoms. It's that one pattern that seems pretty darn predictable, at least in this market, right? So Neo is rocking. Good project. And again, this could be an Ethereum challenge or something that some people say, you know, like EOS and Neo, they're Ethereum killers. But go to any major corner in a major New York city or any city in the United States and go to where the car dealers are, right? There's often 4, 5, 6 car dealers all in the same area. Go to New Haven, Connecticut. Church Street is the kind of the main downtown street of New Haven, Connecticut. There are like literally 5 Thai restaurants all within 2 blocks of each other. There are 3 Indian restaurants. Do you see? Sometimes having Ethereum, having EOS, having Neo, they may all benefit from the fact that they all do similar things and maybe in slightly different ways or competing with each other to be better. So I think that's a really good thing. And at this point, I will definitely pay attention to Neo. I think it's still early enough in this project so that even at 43, it might be a good, you know, not a buying now, but if it creates another sideways trading range, I'm in. I'm definitely going to get some Neo. Omise Go, making its move. I think if it's going to boost probably when it gets hits this line here. It's kind of right at its resistance, and you could construe this as a bullish flag, higher bottoms. We have multiple tops. That's a pattern, people. That's a buy signal. I think the alts are looking really good today. I'm kind of excited. I'll try not to be excited. Trying to be not emotional. Trying to go, okay, if it goes up, great. If it doesn't, fine. I have a plan. You want to have a plan for if it goes up, for if it goes sideways, and if it goes down. And for me, at this point, this is the greatest bull market that we will probably ever see in the crypto space, but I could be wrong on that too. Not much stuff is really going down. And plus a new program, a new project like QTUM, and let's see QTUM Ethereum. Looking pretty good. And let's look at the QTUM US dollar because that works in my brain. QTUM is good. It's looking good. And it's really looking like, you know, it could continue to move. And at 15, I might take a little profit. I think I've got 205 QTUM. I might sell those 5 and invest in something else or do something like a couple of my guitars need some work, you know, or I might record a new song, something that's in alignment with my highest purpose for doing this. Not just, oh, I'm going to go out to dinner. No, not going to buy a toy, not going to buy a boat, you know, right? Not where I'm ready to be yet. But we'll see. It would be nice, you know, I'm in the money now, I think, on all of my QTUM. So that's a good thing. And I want to go to the 1 hour chart. And just see, this was a really interesting pattern on the 1 hour charts. And that's why I look at the 1 hour charts. I think you can learn a lot about its current, you know, mood. And you could look at this little pattern here where it's kind of resisting at 13.79 and it's tested at 1, 2, 3, 4 of the last 5 hours. It's tested, right? The bottoms are all higher. I think it's going to go, I think that's, again, a little indicator that's going to keep going. So keep an eye on QTUM today. I'm hanging on, baby. Hanging on for dear life. I like that hodling. I think that's really trying to day trade these, particularly if you have a small little portfolio like I do. And I started from 0 in February. No savings. A lot of credit card debt for me. And good question. Good question. I think QTUM's looking good. And Monero, let's look at the 1 day. Boom. Okay, Monero's going to boost people. Look at it. We got a very clear bullish flag right here. It's already tested its resistance. It's probably going to go to 140. That's its next kind of move. And then beyond that, we're looking at 150, 160. So there could be different levels. Monero's looking good. This is yeah. Barring any bizarre news, we're looking like the altcoins are ready to start dancing. Pretty cool looking day here. Let's go back to Bitcoin. And there's the 1 hour chart of Bitcoin. The 1 hour chart of Bitcoin, man. People are day trading Bitcoin. And because it moves so much, you know, if you know what you're doing, if you have some experience, you could actually make a living doing this. And I'm not ready to do that yet. So I am. And you would have to do it on an exchange because then you don't have to worry about your transaction time. So one thing I'm thinking about doing at Coinbase, if I'm going to buy any more Bitcoin on a dip, I'm going to buy it at Coinbase. And I'm just going to leave it at Coinbase and see, because you can do instant exchanges at Coinbase because they are holding all the coins and they're holding all the keys, right? So you don't want to leave it there long term, but they seem to be dependable enough, particularly if you're doing a small little thing like I'm doing, so that next time we have a pullback on Bitcoin, I'm going to buy $100 of Bitcoin on Coinbase, and then when it goes up, I'm going to sell that $100 and then wait till it has, you know, and put it into US dollar or put it into Litecoin, and then see if I can just use Coinbase to play with Bitcoin and taking profits into Litecoin. I don't know. I'm just thinking about that. So anyway, that's enough for today. Thank you so much for your time and your attention and your support. If you like this, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up. And again, welcome to some of you new subscribers. There's been quite a few of you in the last few days, and I really love that. And thank you so much. One of my subscribers asked me to asked me for permission to use my opening song as his phone ring, as his ringtone. And that's just, thank you so much. That's huge. If you like music with good words and actual music played by instruments, not just electronic stuff, check out my music. And if you're a man and are trying to become a better man in all areas, not just your finances, but to realize that the amazing women of today are looking for men who are at or above their level, and it's time to up your game, time to become the better man that you would like to be. Check out my Better Man project, and I'm doing a video there almost every day as well. And I think I'm up to, today will be video 8 there. So, and I'm working with a subscriber, a young man who is very, very shy, and I'm also working with some older men, and it's a whole area that I'm doing as much in as I've done here in the cryptos. And so I want to welcome you and invite you to check out any or all of my stuff. And I really appreciate you guys. I value you, and I know that we're on an adventure here, and it's awesome. So thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Have a great Saturday. I'm going to go have coffee in front of the fire with my girlfriend. Finish my coffee. I only had a couple of sips here. It's getting cold, so I got to run. I appreciate you, and over and out. Boom. Start the music.